What's up guys, Black here, and welcome to part 4 of my Team Fortress 2 Unusual Trading Guide, where I'm telling you guys the ins and outs of unusual trading in an easy to understand way. Last episode, we learned about what makes an unusual high or low tier. This episode, I'll be talking about two kind of unrelated but important topics, themed unusuals and craft number hats. First off, what's a themed unusual? Put simply, it's an unusual hat that has a very fitting effect for that certain hat. The most stereotypical example of a themed unusual that I can think of is the Burning Flames Brigade helmet. It should be obvious why this is themed. It's a fireman hat with freaking flames. Classic. 11 out of 10. Why themed unusuals stand out among the rest is that they have an extra kind of appeal, I guess, to them that other hats don't. Even if the themed unusual doesn't have the best effect ever, if it's extremely fitting, it may even be more expensive than other effects for that hat. Take the Swagman Swatter for example. The Swatter, which is a hat designed to ward off flies in real life. Take this with the mass flies effect. This will sell for much more on average than most other effects on that hat. If someone tells you a hat like this is themed, then they probably aren't lying. However, there are always people who try to make up a fake theme just to overprice their hat. Actually, this is pretty much all the time, and it really gets annoying after a while. One time, some dude tried to pass off his Aces High bootleg base metal billycock, which by the way is a total crap hat. He tried to tell me it was themed because he said people play poker on television. No, God! Long story short, don't always believe someone when they say their hat is themed, because they might just be trying to scam you. If you guys watching this think your hat might be themed, it might be best to run the theme past an unusual trading veteran first before you go around saying it's themed, or maybe just avoid saying that it is at all. Maybe say your hat's some kind of robo hat, maybe a metal slug, and it has nuts and bolts, and you think it's themed because the nuts and bolts go along with the metal. This is kinda iffy. The effect is fitting maybe, but not necessarily fitting enough to be called a theme. I've seen a lot of people ganged up on because of terrible themes, and I don't want that happening to any of you guys. Moving on now to the second topic here, craft number hats. Well, what are they in the first place? Well, basically, whenever TF2 has an update with new cosmetic items in it, like hats and misks, the first 100 of each item to be crafted are given a special number 1 through 100, after the item's name, to show that it was one of the first ones crafted. Why do they matter? Well, for the most part, they're worth a few keys each, which is much more than a normal hat, so people, including myself, go on mad, crazy crafting sprees whenever TF2 has an update, in hopes that they can get some craft numbers. Some people are really into numbers and try to get numbers they like for collections. Others may just have some kind of weird fetish for a number, and so they go out and buy some hat with that number. Some specific numbers that are generally worth more than the rest are numbers 1 through 10, number 42, number 69, number 99, and number 100. Number 1 through 10 just because they're low. Number 42, well, number 42 was the meaning of life in the universe and everything in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Most people don't know that and just are like, oh, level 42, it's so good. But yes, that was the origin of number 42 being so good. And then number 69, for obvious reasons, I won't get into that one. And number 99 and number 100 just because they are pretty numbers. There are a few others, but this is generally the list you'll be looking at if someone's asking a lot of keys for a craft number. Craft numbers are often put into unusual trades as extra value, so they get passed around quite a lot. However, if a craft number doesn't have one of the special numbers I mentioned earlier, the chances that someone will want it go down a ton, like to almost zero. So if you're offered some kind of mediocre craft number, like it's in the 70s or 80s somewhere, not really a pretty number, then I probably wouldn't take it unless it's a hat you really like, since it could take at least a couple of weeks to sell. Alright, that'll do it for this episode, guys. I hope you learned something from my little rambling on themed hats and craft numbers. If you liked it, hit that like button. That means a lot to me. And if you like what I'm doing here on my channel, or if you would like to be notified of my future videos, hit subscribe. Stay awesome, guys. I'll see you next video.